Welcome everybody to Forza Horizon 4, and today we're taking a look at the 2015 Jaguar F-Type R Coupé. Now this has been in production since 2013, with this Coupé version introduced in 2014. And yeah, it features an all aluminium chassis, double wishbone suspension front and rear with adaptive dampers, as well as for the driver to choose different settings for the suspension. And yeah, this is a spiritual successor to the E-Type, while also replacing the XK, which had been around for well over a decade by the time this actually got introduced. And yeah, it's a cracking car, to be honest. It's got great looks to it. It's got a superb engine, which is one of three that you can actually choose from. And yeah, it's reasonably practical for a coupe like this. Though I would say that the convertible is better looking, but this is more practical, so it depends what you really want out of your sports car. And the reason I say the convertible is better looking is that the side profile of this has a whiff of Chrysler Crossfire to it, but it is still a great looking car overall. And yeah, like I said, you can have three choices of engines. You've got a 2 litre turbocharged inline 4, a 3 litre supercharged V6, and then this, with the R version, is the 5 litre supercharged V8, which produces 550 horsepower and 502 pounds-feet of torque, which is, yeah, a really rather reasonable amount. Sure, some other front engine rear-wheel drive sports cars have more power, maybe, and some have better looks, or one of the two, but very few of them actually have both combined, because yeah, this looks great and has a superb engine, which not only has lots of power and lots of torque, but also sounds great. And yeah, is really rather a charismatic engine as well. And yeah, the interior is really nice as well, which is atypical of Jaguar, to be honest. So yeah, it's no real surprise. Lots of different materials, nice hand stitched leather, all the usual, and nice white on black dials, which is always a plus point for me, because Jaguars of old also had that kind of dial, you know, style to it. So yeah, very nice looking car overall. And yeah, the only real problem with this, outside of the fact that I prefer the looks of the convertible to the coupe, is the weight. It weighs 3,638 pounds, which is quite a hefty amount, especially for a car that only has 2 seats and yeah, isn't meant to be a saloon or anything like that. So the fact it does weigh that much is a little concerning, but it has so much power that it really is offset, so it's not a massive worry. And it does have a good weight distribution as well, of 52 front and 48 rear, so it's not unbalanced either, despite having such a large engine up front. Nonetheless, let's get out onto the open road and see just what this car can do. Right, so rear wheel drive, massive amounts of power, so as you'd expect, there's a lot of wheel spin off the line, and yeah, it's more than happy to slide around as well, which is always a good thing, because it means that it's a car that's about being fun, which is, when you combine with the superb engine noise and that supercharger whine, makes this easily one of the more fun sports cars from the 2010s around, to be honest. But you can get it wrong, it's like that. Yeah, but yeah, still a cracking car. And yeah, it would be nice though to see what the V6 and the inline 4 are like in comparison, which comes back to another idea I've had for a long time about the Forza series, where you should be able to, you know, have an options list for various cars, because I imagine the V6 is still really rather nice, because that has, again, nearly 400 horsepower, which isn't bad, especially for a car that might weigh a fair bit, but it's hardly the heaviest sports car out there. Aston Martins, for instance, do weigh more than this. So yeah, it would be nice to see what they're like. But this V8 is still great, and it's easily one of the best V8s on this game, quite frankly. And yeah, it can do 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds, 0 to 100 in 7.7 seconds, and going to a top speed of 199 miles an hour. The convertible is a little bit less than that, just because, you know, convertible roofs are generally weaker at high rates of speed, but again, I still would prefer the convertible, even though it isn't as practical and doesn't have as high a rate of speed, just because of the looks. But at the end of the day, with a coupe or a sports car in general like this, you are sacrificing a lot to have the looks, the power, the speed, the acceleration, so having minimal amount of boot space really isn't all that bothersome. As far as I'm concerned, it's all about weighing up the compromise, and that is a worthwhile compromise, especially when it looks as great as a convertible does. But this hardtop is still reasonable in terms of its looks. Still has that gorgeous front end and rear end, and yeah, obviously you do get the extra benefit of more boot space, but that's really not something that bothers me when it comes to a sports car like this. What a practical car, get a hot hatchback or a saloon car. But yeah, still a cracking car, and I'm surprised this has gone under my radar as much as it has, because on these Forza games, I don't think I've ever raced it before on a episode or on Forza 7 or anything like that, and yeah, I can't remember if we've ever done anything with it on extreme off-road silly builds or how fast will it go, but yeah, it's definitely one that's gone under my radar. I know I reviewed the Project 7 a while ago, which was a limited production car, but yeah, this is the one that most people will see and most people will be able to buy, so yeah, I thought it was high time to actually give it a go, and yeah, it's a great car. Fully see why a lot of people like it, and it is a worthy successor to the E-Type, and yeah, overall a better car than the XK, even though I do still rather like that car. Nonetheless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.